The Hanged Man. Death. Well, this doesn't bode well for the comment section. Hey everybody, welcome to Mainely Movies. Today I'm going to be talking about the 1947 film noir, Nightmare Alley. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for a variety of movie-related content like reviews, rank lists, and trailer reactions. All my reviews include a breakdown of the pros and cons, my rating, and some tailored film recommendations, so be sure to watch through to the end of this video for all of that extra content. Nightmare Alley stars Tyrone, Joan, Blondell, and Coleen and was directed by Edmund Goulding. Based on William Lindsay Gresham's 1946 novel of the same name, it tells the story of ambitious and deceitful carnival barker, Stan Carlisle, played by Tyrone Power, as he schemes to make it big in show business. With Guillermo del Toro's adaptation coming in a few weeks, and Criterion's Blu-ray release arriving only a few months ago, now seemed like the perfect time to review this classic carnival noir. This is one of those films whose inception and production is almost more fascinating than the movie itself. Based on William Lindsay Gresham's controversial novel of the same name, this was an unconventional choice of a film during the Hays Code era. With sleazy characters and raw, pulpy depictions of the carnival and showbiz underbelly, it's the kind of story that normally would have been relegated to B-movie status, if it had been adapted at all. But Tyrone Power himself led the campaign, convincing the studio chief to not only buy the rights, but to make it an A-picture and let him star in it, against type. Nightmare Alley is an unusual film for a number of reasons, but perhaps one of the most obvious is its genre. With a name like Nightmare Alley, it probably comes as no surprise that it's a film noir. No surprise, that is, until you watch it. Because if you were given 100 guesses as to the correct name for the story, you certainly would never choose Nightmare Alley. Baffling name choice aside, this is a film noir, but it almost isn't at the same time. It's got many of the genre hallmarks you would expect. The mesmerizing black and white cinematography, the stark lighting contrast, the sweaty, seedy atmosphere full of deceitful characters, but this is no detective story. There's no hard-boiled PI being seduced by a femme fatale. This is about a carnival and the greed and ambition of an homme fatale. And so this is a film that's weirdly split. Much of the story is centered around the carnival. This is a world of sideshows and moonshine, a grimy world where the troupe can only afford to occasionally rent a single hotel room as they travel, just so everybody can take a bath. This is heavily contrasted by the leading act luxury of the city portion of the story. This is a world of success and mingling with the upper crust of society. These two worlds of the story feel so different. They almost feel like they're in different time periods. So when we see the characters so easily, or painfully, slide from one world to the other, something feels off-kilter. Regardless of which world the story's set in, the carny sideshow or posh headliner, this is a story of deception. No matter what, there's always some sort of angle. Everybody and everything has a facade to prevent others from seeing what's just out of reach. Right from the start, we see just how seamlessly Stan slips behind this facade. One minute, he's moving through the carnival crowd, just another t-shirted spectator trying to get a glimpse at the geek. The next minute, he's slipping on a fake shirt and tie overlay and a jacket, and now we see him transform into a slick carnival barker. Everything has a false, deceptive level to it, and we quickly realize that nothing is as it seems. We see the behind-the-scenes deception of the magic show. We see the twisting lies that the characters wrap themselves up in. We watch as characters fake it so much that they begin to lose sight of their own reality and begin to believe in their own facade, and trick those close to them into believing in it too. Everybody manipulates, and in return, find themselves being manipulated, including the audience. With all the grifting, deception, and double-crossing that occurs here, Nightmare Alley is an interesting story, but it's also a slow and unevenly paced one. This film certainly has a lot going for it, but the moment-to-moment plot can drag at times, and occasionally gets a tad dull when a plot thread is lingered on for a hair too long. but this is a film best assessed as a whole, after taking in the entire film. The individual pieces of the story may not have been as compelling to me as I had hoped, but the overarching story is strangely and morbidly satisfying. Alright, let's talk about the pros and cons. Pro number one has gotta be the overall thematic arc of the story. Now, I can't get into specifics here because I don't want to spoil anything, but when comparing the beginning and ending of this film, there's a thrilling yet haunting thematic and plot connection. This is a dark, dour story that's almost aggressive in its pessimistic view of the world and of people, but it's one of those films that'll have you sitting there at the end thinking, oh wow, it really bridged that gap. The second pro is the cinematography. I'll admit I have a bit of a soft spot for just about any black and white cinematography that's even reasonably competent. There's just something about that sharp visual contrast. But the cinematography here is more than just reasonably competent. It immerses you in the story, pulling you into both the carnival world and the city world in equal measure. In typical film noir fashion, the lighting is used to set the atmosphere, and there's one sequence in particular, as Stan walks around the empty carnival grounds late one foggy night, that perfectly captures the cinematographic importance here. On the con side, the biggest issue is how slow the story is at points. It's a film noir, so it comes as no surprise that there are a lot of dialogue-heavy scenes that provide emotion rather than plot movement. But there's something extra slow about this film at times. It has a lot of plot threads and character interactions that feel as though they're never fully explored before they're just dropped, which makes some of the sequences that did make the cut feel excessively draggy. Before I give you my rating and recommendations, I want to remind you that if you're interested in buying Nightmare Alley or any of the other films I mentioned today, I do have affiliate links for all of them in the description below. I get a small commission from anything you buy using one of my links, so I'd really appreciate it if you'd use them if you're in the market for any of these movies. I'm gonna give Nightmare Alley 3.5 out of 5 paws. It's a pulpy, manipulative film noir that's incredibly immersive. The story's a bit of a slog at points as you're watching, but has a very interesting and bizarrely satisfying payoff that makes it all worthwhile. I would recommend Nightmare Alley to fans of film noir, especially those that aren't the typical hard-boiled detective story. If you like dark, cautionary tales, this is one for you. And I'd also obviously recommend it to people who are looking forward to Guillermo del Toro's adaptation of the novel. If you liked Nightmare Alley, I would recommend Freaks. It focuses on a group of carnival sideshow acts and tells another story of deception and manipulation. It's also a pre-code horror drama, so things get a little wild, at least for the time. If you want another carnival/circus-centric story with a bit of deception, but would prefer to cut out the grittier aspects, you should check out Water for Elephants, which replaces the noir with slightly lighter romantic drama. And if you want another 1940s thriller about manipulation, you might want to watch Gaslight. It's got some elements that occasionally border on film noir, and is another story about deception and lies. Alright, a couple questions for you guys. Number 1, have you seen Nightmare Alley? If so, what'd you think of it? And number 2, what's your favorite movie centered around a carnival or circus? Be sure to leave your answers in the comments below so we can get a discussion going. Alright, so if you got some enjoyment, insight, or information out of this review, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe if you're at it to see more videos like this. Till next time, this has been Alyssa with Mainly Movies, the way life should be.